Losing $128 trading IWM and Tesla. What's going on, guys? Welcome on in for recap. The red streak, or just like the red month streak, continues. The overall number down to 722 on the month is not terrible for like how bad this feels. I have had 17 trades total, 1 winner, 14 losers, and 2 break evens. And out of those 14 losers, there may be like two or three that will like technically are break even, but it logged as a loss because I lost like a few bucks. But holy fuck. Shit's just, people like, this is actually a funny approach, or not approach, but you would think that, like, based off of this, that I am doing something dramatically different to have like the win rate like this low compared to what it was last month, where we had made like $1,300 or whatever it was. No. These 2 trades, by the way, were on the $10,000 account, so I'll cover IWM first and then the Tesla trade. They were 2 different trades technically, but they were both long. So let's get an IWM first, and I'm just going to log this really quick. This was a bull flag set up on the 5-minute time frame. I waited about 10, 15, 20 minutes, whatever it was, after Jerome Powell stopped speaking before I took any trades, which was, I think, a good idea. And if I pull up IWM, you'll see the entire trade setup right here. Technically speaking, never hit my stop loss. However, I ended up losing on it because I played the breakout of this level right here at like 219. We got a nice little push in our direction, so we're up nicely. I didn't move my stop loss to break even, but I was like, okay, I like it. And then we got this massive candle right here. And I said, nope, not doing it. Like, high volume. We immediately smashed down below the breaking candle low. And I was like, no, like, this is not for a momentum breakout trade. I don't want to see that. I'm out. So I took the $40 loss, whatever it was, $39 loss on that, and moved on. Now, based off of spreads, what would have probably happened here would have been, if I had not done that, I would have stayed in. I would have gotten very close to my target. I wouldn't have gotten my target, but I would have gotten very close, and I would have moved my stop loss to break even, which very likely would have just been nipped like 10 minutes ago. So in the case of this trade, small loss versus what would have probably been a break even. Ultimately, it may get there, but a word before I get into the Tesla trade on this. This is now the second time, I believe, on IWM specifically this week, and they've only had like 4 trades this week or something like that, that a trade potentially, the first one this week did, if I was to play the set, like we get the entry, boom, set it and forget it, it would have worked potentially. Now this one we may, like, it looks good, like it looks like it's going to higher lows, it might get there. So there's something to be said for that. I'm keeping a mental note of that, but like trying to get a little too, cute sometimes inside of here, potentially hurt me, because like the original risk, we never hit it yet. Maybe it works, maybe it doesn't work. We'll see. I'll come back at the end of the day and I'll recap that. Tesla. This one was this is not a very common trade that I take. Okay. Very rarely, for a 1.5 to 1, very rarely do I take this trade. It's not a very common trade. And some will say, well, why don't you just stick to the breakout? So it's like, yes, I do like 95% of the time per what I've tracked over the past, 1,000+ trades. But when this setup presents, it's usually very glaring. And so the idea here is you are playing the false breakdown in a bigger picture uptrend. So if you go out to the 1 hour time frame, yeah, I mean, you've got an uptrend, and even intraday, you've got Tesla being one of the stronger stocks on the day, up 3%, whereas most things are not up that much. Great. So what I'm looking for is, essentially like a big breakdown, like a breakdown like this, a consolidation. I want to see my setup for the downside. Obviously, I'm not playing the downside here because Tesla's been strong, and we're not in a spot where I see momentum on the bigger time frames for the downside. So I don't short it. I'm not shorting it here. And also, I consistently have been seeing the same things where so many charts that look good on the short side might break down, but then are bouncing right back. So it's like massive red flags, like red alarms are saying, do not short my strategy. Not doesn't mean you can't short. Saying my strategy is like, do not short right now. It's not good. And that's also been proven by a lot of the data that we've gotten this year in general, losing money on shorts versus making money on longs, because we've been in a bull market. Fair enough, makes sense, right? It's not crazy. It's kind of common sense. But what I'm looking for is volume. I want the breakdown, massive lower wick. So I want it to break down and then immediately bounce right back up on the 5-minute time frame, which we got. And then I want to see it break to the upside of the consolidation. So we do that. I get in on this candle right here, and it had decent volume. And so then my stop loss goes back to that breaking, that the bottom of that consolidation area, the breakdown point. You can make the argument to put the stop loss under the low a day. It just ends up making the risk reward like profile way different. So I chose to put it under that level. I'm like, if we fail under this, I don't want it. And as you see, there's now a pretty good chance that we break this low here. So it saves you a few bucks in my view. Got kind of close. I could have made the argument to move my stop loss to break even there. I could have. Just this upper wick happened within like, a couple of seconds, so I didn't. But also, if you jump over to the S&P, what happened at this time was SPY looked good and then broke out. Like it looked like we had a breakout right here to the north. Like it was going to go for a push and maybe make a high of the day, push, breaking out over the high of the day. And then that was such a false breakout, straight false breakout, immediate hammer down. Let's fucking go. And that was it. So that kind of ruined like Tesla had the shot. Like it made that push on that candle where the S&P was like about to break out or like trying to break out, where it had the false breakout and then got the hammer. So you could have made the argument. I could have made the argument inside of there like, I don't like that. Could have gotten out, but I just let it play out the whole way because this is not my traditional breakout strategy where like I have much more of an understanding of it. This is more of like I see it every so often. It's very rare, and when you get it, usually it works, and it didn't work this time. So that's it. So this is one of those where I play a failed breakdown on the 5-minute. So we log that data, and we'll have that data now. And as we build out more data on the failed breakdowns, we'll have a better understanding as to are they worth my time or not. I was looking at that data recently, and it had shown that, like, yeah, it's actually a pretty good trade. Like it was profitable. So, but it wasn't a lot of data, but it had, I had some data. So that's the deal. The current situation right now is down 722 on the month. We got 1 week next week to go. We've got some swing trades open right now. We'll see if they end up panning out. But we legitimately have had one winning trade this month. And you would say, oh, you must be doing something way different. Guys, you can watch the recaps. And I audit myself too very well. Like I try to do a good job, I think. Here is one, like if there is a thing to take away from so far this month, this is absolutely what can happen and will happen if you trade. It can and it will happen. The problem is that you think, or many people think, I don't know, maybe not you, many people think that once you become profitable, this never happens again. This is part of what the whole scope of trading actually is, and it is your job when this happens not to get fucked. And if you look, we are down 722. If you told me, okay, you were going to have one winning trade in a month and you were going to have 14, let's just call it 10, round it down to 10, just because some of those were break evens. 10 losers, one winner. I would be like, you know what? It's not terrible. It's not terrible because it could be a lot worse where you spiral. You let things kind of just completely snowball, and now you're like, fuck me, fuck you, fuck the market, everything. And then next thing you know, you're doubling down, you're taking 20 trades. Like the 2 trades I took today, valid trades. Valid trades. If there's another one in the afternoon, I'm not opposed to taking it. I'm not going to be like forcefully looking for it. It has to present. If we get one, cool. If we don't, we don't. But this is part of it. Like I wish I could tell you that like, oh yeah, it's clear, like, my head's in the wrong place and I'm just taking dumb shit and oh yeah, like, because that would be the easy answer and like, okay, you can fix that. It's not that easy because I can't control what is going on right now. However, trading the exact same way last month made money. The month before didn't make money. The month before that made a lot of money. So it's like you have this oscillation of the market. And right now it feels like shorts for momentum are not working. Again, my strategy, everyone's different. You got to kind of, pick your poison, whatever you want to do. Same thing where the dip buy approach or this approach or that approach, the revert to mean approach won't work as well in a momentum environment. My situation won't work as well in this environment where it feels as if pushing down the gas and then getting off. Like we're going like, because the market's going up. So we're moving up. We're not hitting the brakes, but it's like, everything's not just running and we're not getting momentum to work. We're getting these breakout setups that are looking good and then false breakout, right? That's what we're getting. So identifying that is a great place to start so that you can frame yourself. And now if you go back to this week, well, yes, I had 4 trades this week, all fucking lost, which is kind of fucking hilarious. We lost about $100 across the first 2, and then we lost 128. So I lost a total of $225, give or take, across 4 trades. These are on the $10,000 account. If I was to win 2 trades in a row on that account, I would make it all back based off how I normally size. So it's a game of risk management. When it's not working, it's risk management. And when it is working, you just run shit like usual and make sure you're ready to go. Like when the time comes and the setups are there and you're rolling and you're just kind of hitting them. And when it's not there, we're taking our feet off the gas. We're not trading 6 times a day. And if we get a good setup, which we had, boom. Now, back to that other thing. This is a long video. I know if you're still here, you're awesome. But like I was saying with this IWM trade from earlier this week, this one was we lost 50 or 49. Similar situation to the IWM trade that we had today, but it would have worked if I had just essentially gotten in the trade. Like if I had gotten in and just set it and forget it, it would have worked. So this is something in the back of my head that I'm thinking to myself, well, you know what? It's not maybe there's more to be said for that, where like we get the entry and then we don't move our stop loss to break even. We don't move our stop loss up. I never change my target, but we don't mess with the stop loss. We just leave it be and let the trade like literally do whatever it's going to do. And then if it hits it, great. If it doesn't hit it and it goes to the target, but like the way it got there, I guess. My view on that though is like momentum is momentum and I want to see it happen fairly fast. And so if we break a level and then we're pushing up for 10, 15 minutes and then we get hammered back down, it's like momentum is now gone. We're now below the breakout point. This is not a momentum trade anymore. So it's like in my head, it's like, it's not my trade. I get out. That's kind of why I move the stop losses or I'll take a smaller loss than what I was planning to and get out earlier. Everyone's got their own, you just track it, you track the data and you go from there. If I have enough data telling me in enough situations where, this trade would have now ended up working out, let's just say, where I had, never hit my stop loss, but I got stopped out earlier. Guess what? In the future, once I have enough data that tells me, hey, stop doing that, I'll stop doing that. And that could be like a little bit of a needle mover in terms of the overall big picture. So that's the update. This August, as much as I was saying, I want this to be my best August from a execution standpoint, it's not bad. There are a couple minor mistakes I want to say last week, but other than that, and the first trading day of the month, which I guess here you can see, we lost 322 in literally the first 2 trades of the month. I did not need to trade those. You pull some of those mistakes away and you're like, okay, it's not that bad. It's not bad at all. Like it's not bad at all. Realistically, it's a clinic, I think, on risk management, but obviously I'd have to come back from that, I think, to make it more, impressive. So we'll see. Maybe you can. That'd be a big week next week, but we'll see. Hope that was helpful. I'll link up TradeZilla where I track everything below, like usual, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Hopefully the next recap we got to win. I mean, I don't know. I can't guarantee it. But it's just like how it works. This is the game. I can't guarantee a win. I don't know when I'm gonna win. I don't know what's gonna happen. But if we go on a run in a month or two, I won't be surprised. Is all I'm gonna say, just based off what we've got and how I've seen this game work over the course of the past 16 months of tracking. There you have it. Peace. Enjoy your weekend, Friday, whatever I post this. Have a good one.